Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox, one of the co-founders of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. With me is Josh Mansfield, a teacher with the Demon. Josh, we have an email here from Preet. Preet is asking about a sixth attempt appeal. I assume Preet's talking about a sixth attempt at the LSAT and wanting to do an appeal.
Yeah, for clarification, you get 5 attempts over the course of, what is it, a 5-year period?
Yep.
Total of 7 in your lifetime. If you are trying to get a 6th inside of that 5-year window or an 8th in your lifetime, you can send in appeals, which, you know, varying degrees of success from
Yeah, we
feedback
have
that I've
people
heard.
on staff at the Demon who took it 6 times. So
Yeah,
it's not like it's rare, but you have to give them a reason. Let's see if Preet
but
has reasons.
good morning, guys. My situation is a unique one. I
We're always going to laugh at you if you say unique because it's not.
Oh
It's not unique.
man, it's not unique, and it probably doesn't rise. It often doesn't rise to the level of importance that you think it does. Okay, I've taken
It's
the LSAT
probably
five.
not even unusual,
Yeah,
but but it's certainly not unique. Okay, go ahead.
I've taken the LSAT 5 times. For the first few attempts, I didn't take it seriously. I was in my senior year of college and thought I'd go straight to law school because school was all I knew. Unsurprisingly, my scores were low. In June 2024, I earned my highest score so far, a 143. Then in April, I got my lowest score yet.
Taking the test without proper preparation is far from uncommon. I mean, that's just happens all the
Right.
time. It's kind of tragic. I mean, it's a pretty bad error. Sounds like you've burned 3 attempts and your highest score is a 143, which is not within striking distance of any school that we would, I mean, I'm kind of like, if you're applying with anything less than a 160 or even a 165, I'm cringing. I just don't think good outcomes come from people who go to law school with scores even in the 150s. Certainly, if you're going to put scores like that on your record, you just should not take the official LSAT.
That last attempt, the one that was the lowest score yet, was under difficult circumstances. In early March, I suffered a grade 3 ankle sprain and complete tear of my anterior talofibular ligament. I couldn't walk, work, or manage daily tasks, and my LSAT prep was completely derailed. I'm still in physical therapy and have all the relevant medical documentation, doctor's notes, MRI, x rays, and PT records. Given the situation, do I have a chance to appeal for another test attempt? I just started using the LSAT Demon, and I'm fully committed this time. I'm aiming for a 160, and I'm even considering quitting my job to study full time. I'd also appreciate advice on timing. Should I aim for the August or September exam or later? Thanks for your guidance. Best regards, Preet.
I'm guessing that because of the medical issue, I'm thinking they're probably gonna let you take it a sixth time. I could be wrong, but with all that documentation, they're not trying to keep you out unfairly, and you are gonna have to pay them to take the test. And yeah, I just don't see why they won't. I think the way the appeal works is you have to try to sign up for the test and be denied the ability to register. Then you can appeal that decision. But before we even, well, boy, it's a bit tricky. You know, normally, right, for people who know that they have attempts in the bank, my normal advice is, and this is what Preet did wrong 5 times. Preet registered for tests before they were really ready to take the test. Like their practice tests did not indicate that they were ready, but they just registered anyway, figuring, oh well, I'll prep for this test. I'll be ready in time. I'll be ready by then. But Preet was not ready, and not even close to ready. So normally I would be saying, hey, do not register. Don't even think about registering until your practice tests start showing up in, if 160 is your number. I mean, I still think that's kind of low. Like I'm kind of worried about people who go to law school with a 160, but I would say until your practice tests are 160, you have no business registering for a test. Um, but in this circumstance, I think what I would do is I would register for the farthest out possible test, because up until the application deadline, you can always change to a future test farther out. Or I think you can probably change to a closer up test if you happen to get ready earlier.
Yeah.
But Preet, there's no way I could say aim for the August test or aim for the September test. I don't know. You have a long way to go, and you've documented that you have difficulty with this test. You have difficulty finding the time to study. You have, like you say you're fully committed this time, and I hope you're right, but that's easy to say and harder to like actually demonstrate. I would just register for something way down the road, like way, way down the road, so that you could get started with your appeal if they deny you. They might not even deny you.
Right. And
Um,
then just reschedule as you need to.
yeah, just make sure that you're paying attention to when the deadline to register is usually like 6 weeks before the test. And you could go to lsat.link/dates if you want to see a list of all the test dates and all the registration deadlines. But I would just make sure that I was not, if I wasn't ready, if my practice tests didn't clearly indicate that I was ready, I would always just push that test farther and farther down the road, and then I would study hard in the meantime. But maybe that's step 1 here for Preet. It's like, why are you even studying? Because you don't know that they're going to even let you take it.
Right.
So I would register for a test that's way out in the future. What is the farthest one? Probably like April of 2026 or something.
Uh, June of 2026, technically.
Oh, is it June of 2026? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the last one of the
The
cycle, right?
cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you register for the June 2026 test, you've got all the way up until April 21 to either get ready or reschedule. Between now and then, if you if your practice tests get ready before surprisingly early, you could always move it up.
Yeah. And the thing that puzzles me about this story. So first off, Nate, yeah, you can register for June of 2026 right now. I just pulled up the website. You
Yep.
can go and register for 2026
Yep.
June and go that far in advance.
Yep.
Nate, the thing that puzzles me, and maybe I just want to talk about it because I think it should be a lesson for everybody. I don't know why Preet chose to take April if it was so bad. Like if that medical issue, that ankle sprain and the tear derailed your life so bad in early March, why did you sit for April?
Oh yeah. It's a terrible misjudgment, I
Yeah,
guess.
and
I I
so
should say.
I hope that this is a cautionary tale for anybody. If you have whatever your whatever your unique situation is, that probably is not that unique. Whether
Yeah.
it's family issues, whether it's relationship issues, whether it's medical injury or medical things coming up, whether it's housing issues, whether like make this list because we've seen lots of unique situations about all of these topics. Just don't sit for the exam.
Yeah.
Yes, you might have to, because the thing is you're like people might say, well, but yeah, but I already paid for it. I can't get my money back at this point. Well, you're probably going to underperform, and then you're going to pay for it again anyway. So why take a test that you have no business taking if you're just going to have to pay for it again and waste one of your attempts? Like it's just net negative. And so if you think there's any doubt because of life circumstances that you are not going to be able to perform to your practice test ability, do not I don't care if it happens the day before the exam. Don't sit for that test.
Yeah.
Be
No, it's the sunk cost fallacy, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it and like what happens instead is people try to apply with this score, and then they write like an LSAT addendum that explain, oh, the reason why I scored poorly is because
Yeah.
I had a complete tear of my anterior talofibular ligament. And the school's like, I don't give a shit. Like your score is your score, and we're going to have to report that score to the American Bar Association, and our school is going to be ranked based on that score. And also, that score doesn't indicate that you have like the capacity to succeed in law school. So what? I mean, but I think people just, hey, fees are going up again. The LSAT for the next cycle is going from $238 up to $248. So it's not nothing,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
but I would far prefer that you just eat that $248 instead of taking the test when you're in bad shape.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I mean, Preet's blaming it on this medical issue, but let's be honest. Are your practice test scores anywhere close to, like, have you ever scored 160 on a timed practice test? Because if you haven't, then what are you doing registering for the test?
Yeah. Oh,
And you don't have to eat the $248 as long as you reschedule 6 weeks out.
right. Right.
But if shit happens and you get sick or whatever, I mean, there's nothing you could do about that. I would strongly prefer that you withdraw. If you
Okay.
withdraw, it doesn't waste an attempt. And
Yep.
it's really just bad times to continue sitting for bad outcomes or canceling scores or whatever. It's like, okay, this isn't help. It can't help you.
Good luck, Preet. I hope you get your appeal. Give it a shot. I mean, there worst, and this for everybody. Give it a shot. Worst thing to do is say no.
I'd love to
So
hear what happens. I think if you send plenty of documentation,
yeah.
but again, you're going to have to try to register first. So I would just register for that test way out there. So give yourself plenty of time to prep, and then you can always reschedule as you get closer. But hopefully, the way this is going to go down is you're going to maybe you register and they just let you register.
Right. Right.
Maybe your oldest tests are older than 5 years old. But if not, if they deny you, then okay, now you're going to have to file your appeal, give them all of your medical documentation. And I think seems to me like they're probably going to say yes, but I don't know. Write us back, Preet, and let us know how it went.
Appreciate it, Preet. Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.